This is the 1001 albums. I think it's an older version because it's only goes up to the sort of early 2000s, but I think all the stuff before then is probably the same or only slightly altered. But we have a nice sort of street art piece of Debbie Harry on the front. Jimi Hendrix. So it goes through the decades like that. So we'll be starting in the 1950s. Frank Sinatra, Fair Play. Elvis, I recognise the cover. There's so much stuff in here. There's stuff that I won't have heard before, of course. Fats Domino, what a legend. Count Basie, I think I have some vinyl on Count Basie. Billie Holiday. That's a gorgeous photograph of her. Ray Charles, Ella Fitzgerald, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. I love this album. Dave Brubeck Quartet. Oh, I used to listen to them quite a lot. I haven't in years. Take 5, track 3. I used to listen to that. Oh, 1960s. That was quick. Elvis again. It's funny because there's so much stuff and it's unlikely you would have heard it all. But everything's here for a reason, you know. Ray Charles, modern sounds in the country and western music. Booker T and the MGs. Green Onions, that's such a classic song. Bob Dylan, Freewheeling. I always loved this kind of image of Bob Dylan, the sort of early image of him with the harmonica stand, just playing an acoustic on his own. Although when he went electric, the music was still good, but whenever I think of Bob Dylan, it's always this kind of image in my head. I think Jacques Brel, who I really like, a friend of mine who's French introduced me to him. She got me one of his albums. Can't remember which one it was, but it definitely wasn't this one. It was great. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. Yep, can't go wrong with that, can you? Dusty Springfield. Oh, has this got spooky on it? No, I thought it'd have spooky on it. Amazing voice she has. The Stones. Come to think of it, the Beach Boys. I saw the film about the Beach Boys recently, the one with Paul Dano and John Cusack in it. It was really good. I can't remember what it was called now though. The Who of My Generation really marked a generation, didn't it? The Beatles Revolver. This is my favourite Beatles album. I love it. The Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, which really didn't do too well at the time, which is funny looking back. Simon and Garfunkel. feel like they're wearing matching outfits there. I've always liked the name art. I think it's very unusual and different. Oh, this is a great album. 13th Floor Elevators. Really like it. It's very psychedelic. Nico. Not a big fan of Nico. Nina Simone. Sgt. Pepper's. I always like the story of this cover photo, which was they asked the designer, can't remember his name, they asked him, oh, on our cover we want Bob Dylan, we want art, and then said a list of loads of people, I forget who else is on it, and then they literally just like put all the faces of the people they asked for. But I heard that at the Beatles Museum in Liverpool, the Beatles story on Albert Dock. If you ever get a chance to go, you should. It's awesome. Buffalo Springfield, I don't know. Cream. I really like Cream, but I think I only have the best off of theirs. What does it say? Updating the avid experimentalism of their debut album, 1966's Fresh Cream, by infusing it with psychedelic tricks of the trade prevalent in 1967, the newly refined guitar wah-wah and distortion among them, the jazz blues rock trio Cream hit their artistic peak with Disraeli Gears, labelled the first supergroup due to the dazzling skills of guitarist Eric Clapton, bassist, vocalist Jack Bruce and drummer Peter Ginger Baker. With this album, Cream opened the doors to many future musical genres, including jazz fusion and some say progressive rock. So it's really interesting that when you read the blurb, because it kind of tells you why the album is in the book and also how it's shaped music. Pink Floyd, Velvet Underground and Nico. I do love the Velvet Underground, but I don't like Nico. The Young Rascals, The Birds. Bookends, Simon Garfunkel. Me, guys, I'm always talking about bookends, aren't I? Jeff Beck, Zombies. Velvet Underground again. What's on this one? Candy Says, What Goes On? Some Kind of Love. Pale Blue Eyes. Oh, that's a really good song. Jesus, Beginning to See the Light. I'm Set Free, The Story of My Life. After Hours, The Murder Mystery. Quicksilver, Messenger Service. I've heard a lot of their music in films, actually. Led Zeppelin. Yep, Led Zeppelin 1. Let's see, what do they have to say about Zeppelin? Even at the beginning of their careers, the approach of the world's most famous and influential heavy blues folk rock act was identifiable and unique, grasping the fearsome riffage of pioneers such as Cream and updating it to a new and awe-inspiring brand of rock. Led Zeppelin both advanced the boundaries of music on their debut album of 1969 and paid homage to their inspirations from the folk, blues and R&B fields. While Jimmy Page's alarmingly nifty guitar playing on covers of Willie Dixon's You Shook Me and I Can't Quit You Baby express a rock-solid grip on the band's roots, the future of the 1970s rock was already mapped out in career best songs such as Dazed and Confused. Check out the super fat descending bass line and communication breakdown. Listen out for the clean, almost Pete Townsend-like riff. the earth-shaking, overdriven sound of bassist extraordinaire John Paul Jones with anthemic tunes such as Good Times, Bad Times. Yeah man, it's a great album. Black Mountainside they haven't mentioned there, have they? And Robert. Sly and the Family Stone. I really like Sly and the Family Stone. What's their song that I like? Everyday People, that's it. This would be a good album to get actually. Perhaps I need this in my life. Tim Buckley. This is interesting because this is Jeff Buckley's dad. And his voice is very similar. Some cool songs. Gypsy Woman. Gypsy Woman's really eerie. I just remember that story about Jeff Buckley that I think he wasn't really they weren't really in each other's lives. And then Tim Buckley passed away, and at his memorial service, Jeff sung one of his songs, and everyone was like, whoa, that guy, like, he looks just like him, and his voice is so much like him. Who is he? Good poetry as well, that's great. The Stooges. Oh, I love this album. Let's see what they have to say about the Stooges. A town with a proud musical heritage, by the late 1960s, Detroit was synonymous with the sweet soul pioneered by Berry Gordy's Motown label. This all changed in 1969 with the Stooges' eponymous debut album, a corrosive swell of skirling guitars and primeval howls from frontman Iggy Stooge, as he was then known. The Stooges were picked up by Elektra as an afterthought. A&R man Danny Fields came to sign garage rockers MC5, but was so impressed by the Stooges' live performances that he took a chance on them as well. In June 1969, the band headed to New York to produce their album with John Cale, ex-Velvet Underground. The only problem was a lack of songs. Despite their live heroics, the band only had 3 songs ready, so label boss Jack Holzman sent them to a hotel room with a 2-day ultimatum to fill out the album. What the band emerged with was a collection of brilliant curios, which were neither full-on garage rock nor out-and-out dirge. Cale introduced restraint to songs such as 1969, which threatens to explode but is shepherded away from wig-out territory, and to I Wanna Be Your Dog, where the powerful guitar assault is kept firmly on a leash. Cale also plays viola on We Will Fall. The second one of theirs. Oh, Marvin Gaye, what's going on? Oh, what a brilliant piece of history is this song. I think it's one of the most moving and beautiful songs I've ever heard. Just so prevalent of the time. Let's see if it says anything about it. Here we go. Words cannot do what's going on justice. It ebbs and flows from the ironically uplifting title track through waves of gospel and jazz, the relaxing kind, not the noise, then explodes into Mercy, Mercy Me. Yeah, what's going on? It's just brilliant. John Lennon, Imagine. This is a good album as well. Oh My Love, I love that song. Rolling Stones, the Allman Brothers. I feel like the Allman Brothers are incredibly underrated. Led Zeppelin, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I remember a guy came to build a wardrobe for me, and it was like when you get that flat pack furniture, and my wardrobe is huge and I couldn't sort of do it myself, so he came over to build it for me, and I had a Led Zeppelin poster in my bedroom at the time, and he was like, "You like Led Zeppelin?" I was like, yeah, I do. Then he was like, "Do you like Emerson, Lake and Palmer?" And I said, "No." He's like, "Check him out, you'll love it." And I did. Funkadelic, yeah man. I like Funkadelic. Janis Joplin. What's my favourite Janis Joplin is Ball and Chain and I Need a Man, neither of which is on here, but this might be worth getting. Oh, here's my favourite, Nick Drake, Pink Moon. This never fails to put me to sleep. I know I say that every time I mention it, but honestly, if you're struggling to sleep, try Pink Moon. I think the whole album is on YouTube, so definitely give it a try. David Bowie. I was wondering when we were going to get to Bowie. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I think was this the one where at the end of the era of Ziggy, he said in a live concert, "This is the last time you'll see us, because I'm done." And he hadn't even told the band that, but at the time people thought David Bowie himself was like done making music from then on, but really he just meant, "Oh, this is the last time you'll see Ziggy Stardust," and it meant that he was moving on to a new era. What came next? Was it the White Duke? I'm not sure. Or was it the Young Americans era? Queen, Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk is very, very interesting. I really like Kraftwerk because it's like the birth of synthesizers, isn't it? I really like sort of German electronic music, and yes, this is the birth of that. Herbie Hancock. I've not heard the whole of this album, but I've heard one of the tracks on it, and it's really cool. And I think it was used in Utopia, the British Channel 4 TV show, and it fits so well with the other music that had been, specifically composed for the show. It was a really good song. Fleetwood Mac Rumours. Oh, this is brilliant album, Fleetwood Mac Rumours. David Bowie Heroes as well. This is my favourite David Bowie album, Heroes. It's got some really awesome tracks on it, like Beauty and the Beast, Joe the Lion. They are two bangers that start out this album. Heroes, of course, is Heroes, which is brilliant. The electric bow sounds in it, I love. Sons of the Silent Age, very trippy. V2 Schneider, also very trippy. And this is one of the albums from the Berlin years as well. I think there's 3 albums that he wrote when he lived in Berlin. That are, I think they're down as his best, some of his best albums. Full stop is the Berlin years. Fleetwood Mac Rumours. This is an interesting album. So I think they were all like cheating on each other and breaking up during the time they wrote this album, so that's why they called it Rumours, because it was like a collection of rumours. I like Fleetwood Mac pre-Tusk for, I think, obvious reasons. Elvis Costello. I don't know much Elvis Costello, but I think I need to check him out. Name me some good Elvis Costello songs in the comments and I'll have a listen. The Jam. Oh, The Jam. Perhaps The King of the Mods. Was it Paul Weller that's the King of the Mods? And Paul Weller was in The Jam, wasn't he? Public Image Limited. This is really interesting. I like Public Image Limited, but it's very different from of course, Sex Pistols, which was where Johnny Rotten started. What's the song of theirs I like? I think it's like, is it called I Could Be Wrong, I Could Be Right? Might be Public Image, title track. I really like Van Halen. Yeah, this album, I love this album. Gary Newman, Cars. Yeah, Cars is on it. The Specials. Oh, this is a brilliant album as well. I really like ska. I really do like ska. I remember I bought this album when I was 15 or something, I think maybe 14. No, probably 15. And I loved it. I loved the combination of punk and reggae. 1980s now, so we've got AC/DC, Back in Black, Adam and the Ants. It's going to be an interesting combination here. Motorhead. It's a nice picture of Lemmy there doing his thing. Talking Heads. Joy Division. Closer. I would have thought Unknown Pleasures would be here. Tom Waits, you can't go wrong. The Jam. UB40. The Specials, more Specials. Susie and the Banshees. I like them too. Brian Eno and David Byrne. Oh, I've never heard that before. They sound like they'd make a great combination though, Brian Eno and David Byrne. I should have had some post-its with me so I could mark off some ones that I want to listen to. Prince. Iron Maiden. Michael Jackson, Thriller. Michael Jackson the Bad is in here as well, actually. I don't think we've passed it yet. Madness, another kind of ska-esque band. Duran Duran, the Violent Femmes. Oh, I like the Violent Femmes. It starts off with Blister in the Sun. Please, please, please do not go. Yeah, this is worth getting, I think, as well. There we go. R.E.M. Tom Waits. I think there's 10 Tom Waits albums in here, and so they should be. But anyway, Prince, Purple Rain. I saw Prince about 10 years ago in London. It's one of the best gigs I've ever been to. We were 10th row in the O2 Arena, or what do they call it? The old Millennium Dome Arena. I don't know what they call it now. The Smiths, Meat is Murder. Oh, this is a good album. Rush Home Ruffians. Rush Home is a place in Manchester. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Beastie Boys. Oh, I loved the Beastie Boys when I was a kid. Metallica. Love the Pixies. Doolittle here. This is my favourite album. It's amazing. My favourite song is Hey, track 13. Thumbs up if you like the Pixies. Hey, Barry Adamson. No way. I met him last week. Not last week, last month. Barry. He was so nice. I didn't realise one of his albums were in here. Yeah, I met him at a Q&A he did at home, which is an arts centre in Manchester. And he curated the soundtrack season where they played films with great soundtracks. And he came to speak to start off the season. after a film he worked on by David Lynch called Lost Highway. And he was lovely. I really liked him. A very nice man. But he's from Manchester as well. I'll have to look at this Moss Side Story. Aerosmith Pump. Oh, I like Aerosmith Pump as well. Right. Happy Mondays, Pills and Thrills and Belly Aches. Excellent. Happy Mondays are also from Manchester. Offspring Smash. This is an awesome album. The best album of theirs, in my opinion. Radiohead, OK Computer, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Manic Street Preachers, another Barry Adamson album. I'm really impressed by that. Belle and Sebastian, Beck, Odelay. I love this album. Finley Quay, Buena Vista Social Club. Really interesting this. I'm not seeing much like international music in here so far, so I'm glad Buena Vista are in here. There's a couple of Madonna albums in here. Air Moon Safari, you guys know I love Air Moon Safari. Skunk Anansi, I used to really like her. I'm sad she's not on the music scene much anymore. Britney Spears. Okay. iPod picture. Coldplay Parachutes. This was their debut album and it's really good. It all went downhill after XXY in my opinion. Eminem. I used to love Eminem. White Stripes. I still love the White Stripes. Such an interesting band. The Beta Band. One of my favourites. Is this one of the EPs? Yeah. I was thinking about doing a video about EPs. If anybody would like to see like a video about my favourite EPs, let me know in the comments. The Bees, Nora Jones. She Ravi Shankar's daughter. I think so. Ravi Shankar, he's one of the most famous sitar players of all time in India. He's the one that taught the Beatles how to play sitar. The Flaming Lips, Doves, Missy Elliott, Beck, Sea Change. Sea Change is okay. I don't think it's fantastic though. Rufus Wainwright, Mars Volta. I haven't heard the Mars Volta in, must be 10 years now. Devendra Banhart. Kanye West is even in here. TV on the Radio. I like them. They're a really good mix of genres. The Streets. Green Day. American Idiot. Reminds me of being in school. Richard Hawley. He's from Sheffield. I've not heard a lot of his music though. I know like the new Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys, his new look has been compared to Richard Hawley a lot. Because they're also from Sheffield. Muse. I like old Muse. Oh, here they are. Speak of the Devil. Hello, Alex. Arctic Monkeys. When I was about 17, 18, I was in love with Alex Turner. Honestly, I loved him so much. I fancied him so bad, and I literally thought my life would be over if I never met him at some point. Oh, it's funny. But yeah, this is their first album, and it's brilliant. It really marked a change in British music, and it was like the first time British music, like indie music, had been that good since, you know, the 90s Britpop era of Blur and Oasis and stuff. It was like, oh yeah, British indie music is back on form, and I'm here and I'm loving it. Amy Winehouse, Back to Black. Joanna Newsom. Yeah, I've heard some of her tracks. They're interesting. She's got a nice voice. LCD Sound System. MIA. Paper Planes on here, yeah. So that's like, there's a Clash sample in that. So the main like drums of it is from a Clash song. Radiohead, gotta love Radiohead. Klaxons. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me what your favourite albums are that you couldn't live without. And I'll see you next time.